Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Cancers in mid-January, starting off a brand new calendar year? What energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in mid-January. What's the vibe? What's the energy here for my good friends? Let's get this card out nice and quick, please. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. You know, I haven't seen this card in months, and it just showed up for the Leos this week, and you have it too. So I love the femme fatale. Like the energy that she carries, it's like it's strong, it's powerful, it's alluring, but there's like this little hint of danger attached to it, and we're going to go in depth with that. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady. She's all decked out in red from head to toe. She's holding on to that rose. There's a little red bird buzzing around, and there's Venus flytraps on the bottom. Now, when I think about the positives of this, I think of confidence. I think of someone that's feeling good, looking good. The energy levels are nice and high. There's something about this energy that I find very alluring, very tempting. So for some Cancers in this time, maybe there's certain things that you're refraining from that you find very tempting. Like, oh, there's something I want to do. Should I? I don't know. What would people think? It's like giving me that kind of energy, which is super unique within a reading. But although this is like a beautiful, strong, sexy type of energy, there is that underlying danger, right? Especially when we see symbolism of a Venus flytrap and even a rose. Like, think of a rose. It's beautiful. It smells great, but there's thorns. So there could be certain things that Spirit wants you to proceed with caution, where it's like, all right, well, be confident. If it looks good, feels good, awesome, but just be cautious about it. So for some people, this could be a little bit of a warning. Aside from that, like the femme fatale energy, if this is an energy you're stepping into, it's very similar to the Queen of Wands, or look good, feel good, where there could be a lot of situations revolving around how you view yourself and treat yourself. So we're just going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Unexpected Situation. So a lot of times, you know how the universe can be. Like sometimes it's just day-to-day monotonous life. But then the universe will throw us a little bit of a curveball. Now, not every situation is a bad thing, right? Sometimes an unexpected situation that pops up that actually works out for us. I felt very neutral about it, so I feel like for some Cancers it might have been great. For some of you, maybe not so much. So just know that that energy, little curveballs from the universe and situations could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer in mid-January. What's happening? Let's get these cards out for you nice and quick. Here we go. Cool. I mean, I like it. That's a great way to start. We have the 9 of Cups. It's one of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck. So it's like we're starting off on the right foot. It's like a nice, open, welcoming type of energy. Let's get a couple more here. Let's get a couple more. Because you know how tarot... Okay. So we got the 10 of Swords right there in the middle. These energies oppose each other. Let's get one more. It's like they're directly on the edge of a totally different spectrum. Okay, so we have the King of Cups himself right back here, aka Kyle of Cups. So there is like this balancing act with the energy. You also get a bonus this week. We have the 6 of Swords. So again, I'm feeling a little bit of neutrality about it. We got some really great energy. We got a little challenging. So we're going to have to go through and see how all of it plays out. But let's go through. I'll start giving you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements because that informs us where the energy is flowing, certain areas of life, and all of it looks internal so far. So, like heart and mind. We have a lot of water, which is great for a Cancer reading with the Nine of Cups, King of Cups. Those are your power element, your power card that represents the internal world of emotions, feelings, personal connections, things and people that we care deeply for. It could just be creativity. So, like, if you're going through some issues or problems, it's like we're thinking outside of the box. I love water for that because it could get around obstructions, if that makes sense. Aside from the emotions and the feelings, the downside to too much watery energy is especially like if you're suppressing things too much and it kind of feels in flux. I always say that with water energy, it's like never solid like earth energy is. So there could be ups and downs, which we see in energy itself. We also have swords with the 10 of swords and the 6 of swords. Now I'm not really freaking out about this 10. We'll cover that shortly. But sword energy is more about the mind. It's the pragmatic mind. It talks about logic and intelligence and how you view something. So I think that it's a good balance. So, like, we have the heart and mind showing up here in equal portions. And even though there's a difficult energy here, it's like we have something that counterbalances it. The only downside to sword energy, sometimes it could be a little detached, sometimes it could be a little angry, a little mean. So we're going to have to see what's up. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, Nine of Cups. Now, as I mentioned, these two energies kind of cancel each other out because they're the extreme difference from each other. But the Nine of Cups right here, we see our pal. He's sitting there. He has 9 full cups. He's happy. He's content. He's chilling out. So whenever I see him, I'm like, all right, that's a win right there. That's a win. That's a victory. That's comfort. It's very cozy. So I always like this. For some of you, there could be something great coming in that makes you feel good. Like, that's what I think about with this card. It makes me feel good, especially on the inside. It's very soothing to me. So we'll have to see. There could be various different things that come in where it's like, ah, yes, I am pleased, which is cool. The downside to the Nine of Cups, I mean, it is open and it's nice and it's welcoming, but sometimes this card could be a little too nice or a little too open or a little too welcoming. So watch out with balancing stuff like that out, where it's like, okay, well, you could still be open to certain things, but have certain boundaries. Of course, that's a big thing with the Nine of Cups. And watch out for overindulgence of any pleasure of the flesh. That's a little warning we always get with him. So we'll take a look at that. I feel good about it, but moving to the center, it's like the pendulum swings because we go from like this really happy, nice, content energy to the 10 of swords. Now, for those of you that watch tarot, those of you that know tarot, this is one of the more challenging cards in the deck. And I always say, when it comes to challenging cards, I don't always get worked up about them, right? Like, it's always on a spectrum. So for some of you, maybe there's just a couple days where you're a little gloomy. Maybe there's a couple days where you're a little bit down. Now, in the classical sense, this could range up to some pretty serious things too, like feeling heartbroken, feeling like you're at rock bottom and stuff like that. We're not going to hyper focus on that because there is a lot of energy that counters this energy. But usually the 10 of swords could represent pain, betrayal, rough and tough endings. So it's not the easiest. So this can be a problem, and we'll focus in on it when we get into the clarifier. The good thing about the 10 of swords is that there's only one way to go, and that's up. So whenever this shows up, it's like, all right, this is as bad as it's going to get. Now it's going to go up from here, which I always think is a great thing. And the fact that these two completely nullify each other, which I think it's good for you. I guess it depends on whatever your situation is. Moving to the back end, we have one of your power cards, not just your power suit. We got our good pal here, Mr. King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself. He's chilling out. He's having a little drink. He has his goblet. So very similar to the Nine of Cups. This is normally a very content, happy, chill type of energy. So surrounding this 10 of swords, I don't feel like it's masking. I don't feel like it's faking it. It's just like it balances each other out. And if anything, the energy is leaning more positive than challenge. Now, what I always say about kings is they represent control of their respective suits. So the King of Cups, if when we clarify it doesn't show us something that's coming towards you, the King of Cups represents emotional control. He is the fullest expression of emotion and love. So if you're dealing with any relationship things, King of Cups is usually a very good sign, depending on what clarifies them. Uh, the downside of this king, aside from the indulgence, because he could be very similar to that Nine of Cups, or a King of Cups might overdo it, might overindulge a little too bit, a little too much, pardon me. His downside is loss of emotional control. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's just something to keep in the back of our mind. Now, moving to the very back end for our bonus, we have the Six of Swords. Now, I like this, especially when looking at the big picture, because, of course, it could represent distance and travel. So I'm not sure if you have any of that stuff in the works. But normally it's coming out of the choppy waters into the calm, things improving, things getting better. So, with the dynamic of energy we see within the main part of the spread, this is actually a really good thing. Now, the downside of the Six of Swords, sometimes it could be ignoring things. Sometimes it's an energy that it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing or it gives up. But I feel there's more positive here than challenge. I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for Cancer, please, guides? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Nine of Cups here, please? Why is the Nine of Cups here? Thank you. I mean, it just looks great. It looks great. So we have the Three of Cups in the upright underneath this Nine of Cups. It's really fantastic. For those of you, the Three of Cups to me is celebration. You see these people, they're raising a toast, they're raising a glass. Now, of course, I know there's some readers out there, when they see the Three of Cups, they think of third party things, of course, because threes represent groups of people. But to me, this feels great. Like Nine of Cups, Three of Cups, it's like I'm enjoying myself, I'm having a good time. So, whether that's advice from Spirit to find something that you enjoy and actually do it, even if life is a little rough, even if things have been a little monotonous, Spirit wants you to enjoy yourself. Now, I always say people have fun in a lot of different ways. This is great for cutting loose. So if that's something you need to inject into your life, this is the green light to do it. Now, the Three of Cups is also a very indulgent card. So I do want to say this, with the Three of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the King of Cups, if there are certain things, especially with that Oracle card we saw in the beginning, that you're trying to refrain from or to not do or to stop doing, there is huge temptation to fall back into old cycles. So just keep that in mind. But aside from that, I can't think of anything except a win or victory. Now, for some of you, aside from the wins, victories, triumphs, whatever we want to call it, this energy could also be very social. So, like, if you've been a little secluded and you haven't been too social, like, this energy is like energy coming towards you in a very social manner. So, we're going to keep going. That looks great to me. So, that's definitely a win of some kind. But let's see why that Ten of Swords is here, because that's like sticking out like a sore thumb, right? Let's see what that Ten of Swords has. Why is it here for Cancer? Thank you. Five of Cups. And then there's the counterbalance. It's like I'm stopping myself from having fun. Why am I doing that? All right. I'm not saying, and again, no judgment here, and I'm not saying this is definitely what you're doing, but there seems to be this huge counterbalance of energy where it's like things are improving, things are getting better. Nah, I can't. No, there's too much going on, or it's too serious. It's like I'm being very restrictive of myself or various situations. So we do have the Five of Cups in the upright, and that card's the River of Tears. So you see what I mean? It's like a complete opposite mirror, both of these alignments. I could definitely say that, like Nine of Cups, Three of Cups, with Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, complete different ends of the spectrum. Now, I'm not saying that, like, oh, just when you're happy, something bad's going to happen. That's not how this feels to me as a reader. Of course, it could be interpreted like that. But the Five of Cups, it's like just when I start feeling better, I remind myself, or it's just when I start feeling high, I bring myself down. Like, to me, it's somewhat self-imposed. Now, I'm not saying it's you. This could be somebody else where they might be their own worst enemy. They might get in their own way. That could be very possible here. So just watch out for stuff like that, whether you're a support system for this person, or maybe for some of you, that's just a behavior you have, like where sometimes, like, you're feeling great, things are going great, but there's just something within that you're still holding on to that, like, brings you back down to a lower vibration. So just watch out for that. It is very, like, self-restrictive, where it's like I'm having a good time, I'm having fun. Oh, but I can't. It's like stopping myself. let's keep going. And of course, the Ten of Swords with the Five of Cups, that can represent an ending of some kind. It can represent pain that you might be experiencing. But I don't feel like this is an energy that's coming in. I feel like it's already present, if that makes sense. So it's like we have a win, we have a loss, we have great energy, and then something completely cancels it out. So I'm still feeling neutral. Let's see what the King has. I think that's going to be the big hint for us when we look at the overall message of the reading. So why is Mr. King of Cups himself here for Cancer? Remember, that is one of your power cards, power element as well. Most of this reading is cups, which you could function in. So I do see the up and down. But why is the King of Cups here for Cancer, please? Thank you. I mean, if this is a change, it's a good one. I think I saw this for you a couple weeks ago, potentially. So we have the Hierophant in reverse. This is definitely some sort of change in your day to day, or a change in like it. The Hierophant to me in the upright is solid, it's stable, it's sturdy, it's lodged in there. It's an energy that's not moving. So when I see it in reverse under the King of Cups, it's like I am managing this shift. I'm managing this change. Things changing for the better has been a theme that I've been seeing throughout. Now, a lot of times the journeys we go on in life, they're not linear, right? It's not like things are going to like perpetually get better and better and better and better and better. Like sometimes it's two steps forward, one step back, and then three steps forward and a step back. Like that's kind of how this energy feels to me. It's like an energetic do-si-do, where it's like I'm getting better, little drawback up. Now I'm improving. It's like it's expanding and contracting. It's like expanding, pulling back, expanding, pulling back, which could be a little frustrating for some people. Now, the Hierophant could represent a Taurus. To me, I do think of like day-to-day life or routine. So when I see it in reverse underneath this King of Cups, this is tower-like energy to me. So it could just be a very explosive change of some kind. Now, could that be internally? Absolutely. How you view something about your schedule. You might be injecting certain things into your day to day life. To me, it does feel like a very significant change where it's like this energy is balancing itself out, but we're bringing in a new story. We're bringing in a new vibe, which I think is great. I do. Um, I will say this: the only like downside to the King of Cups Hierophant in reverse could be feelings of insecurity, where it's like I feel like the ground is shaky. I kind of feel like I'm floating here, but overall, I think this is good. If that is a powerful shift of energy or a change, I think it's for the better. Whatever situation you're dealing with. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So yours is a very layered, nuanced reading this week. Of course, only take what hits for you. But if you look here in the box, we have like this back and forth energy. We got the Nine of Cups with the Three of Cups. That's a win if I've ever seen it. It's an energy that's having a good time, cutting loose, having fun. Then here in the center, we have the Ten of Swords with the Five of Cups. Pull back. So it's an energy that's having a great time and then it pulls back. It reins itself in. So it's like we have the expanding and then the pull back. But they kind of cancel each other out. And of course, this could be an ending. This could be pain of some kind. Um, but I don't feel like it's treacherous, if that makes sense. Moving to the back end, we do have the King of Cups with the Hierophant in reverse. So some of you may be experiencing a lot of big changes in like your day-to-day life or how you view things or your routine. But I think it's for the best. Like this to me feels like growing pains. And I feel like I've seen that in one of the earth signs this week. It's like, no, they're just growing pains. So the energy is shifting in like a very powerful, almost explosive kind of way, especially on the back end. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get your one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. Oh, that was like the first shuffle. That card came flying out. All right, we do have the Ace of Wands. That's really good normally. Now, one thing I'll say about all aces, they represent conversations, talks, opportunities. And the Ace of Wands does closely tie into like your energy levels, your vitality, health and wellness, and motivation. So these are certain things I'd like you to keep an eye on over the next couple weeks in specific. Like if you're feeling drained, if you're feeling a little down and out, I mean, fun doesn't have to mean you're going out there and partying. Sometimes it could be a little R&R, rest and relaxation. But one thing that the shadow side of the Ace of Wands shows me is the spontaneous vibe. So for some of you, watch out in this time for urges, spontaneous actions. Like I want to say losing control. I'm not going to be that grandiose about the description, but when I do see the Ace of Wands, it's like I'm acting before I think. So just watch out for that. But we're just going to let it chill right there, Cancer. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.